Jamie, welcome to the show. I'm super excited to dive into your expertise. And today we're going to be talking about something special. I'm going to let you take over and dive into this wonderful topic.
Awesome. Thanks for having me, Rebecca. I'm just covering four different topics, some of which are in my course and some are not. So it's just a way to share some information and see if these are areas that you could use some support in, but also things to think about that you might not have considered in your treatment room. What I've noticed is that often we're kind of setting these up really quickly and kind of making do with what we have, and that's great, but taking a little bit more time to consider different aspects is ultimately going to make your treatment room work better for you and for your clients. I'm going to talk about styling your space for social media and marketing and a little bit of photography. I'm going to talk about lighting and sound and designing for small spaces. Each of these elements can really help you attract and retain your ideal clients. So I'm Jamie Smith and my company's name is Happy House Studios. I'm based here in Portland, Oregon, also working remotely and virtually. I began my interior design practice after nearly 2 decades in the healing arts as a licensed massage therapist and health coach. My work is rooted in biophilic design and neuroaesthetics, two approaches that support healing, safety, and restoration through the built environment. These are research-backed approaches that demonstrate better health outcomes and are powerful approaches to intentional design. Today, we spend about 90% of our time indoors, but our brains are still wired for the rhythms, cues, and patterns of the natural world. When our spaces don't reflect that, they can feel off, even if we're not quite sure why. Thoughtful design helps bridge that disconnect, supporting not only health, but also creativity, comfort, and ease. While we are not going to dive deeply into materials today, it's worth noting that choosing healthier materials can significantly reduce indoor air pollution and exposures to harmful toxins. Let's dive into how to create effective promotional images. When it comes to branding and marketing your space, visual storytelling is how you share what it feels like to be in your space. Visual information is processed instantly and subconsciously. It takes our brains take it in before we've even had a chance to think. Like really that 1 to 3 second mark is how quickly we're scrolling past things these days. So when styling your space for photos, remember less is more. Our eyes need space to rest. Too much visual noise can overwhelm and distract the story that you're trying to tell. Decluttering the frame creates calm, clean visuals that speak directly to your brand. This is also an opportunity to align your brand identity to your interior design. If you're working with a photographer, consider also hiring or consulting with a stylist. They'll help really get the space camera ready by removing clutter, adjusting angles, and emphasizing key design elements. Cropping brings the treatment table into focus and removes distractions, creating a calmer visual. Here we've cut the door, the cabinet, and the wall switch, details that distract from the natural light, the plush table dressing, and the soothing decor that communicates the care and attention your clients will receive. You'll use framing to highlight what matters most and create a feeling. You want to think about, what do I want people to see and feel in one glance? So case goods are a way to create visual calm in your space. Credenzas, sideboards, cabinets, and consoles are really useful furnishings that help conceal tools and supplies to reduce visual clutter. Built-ins and cabinets are great, especially if there's an obvious architectural opportunity, but not necessary. You can always use freestanding furniture with doors. This really helps your space feel organized, polished, and calm, and it's really an easy upgrade. So in image 1 on the left here, this room really embraces natural light, neutral tones, and natural materials, creating a soothing and organic feel. The natural light enhances the calming ambiance, while the materials like cotton, linen, sheepskin, and wood evoke our connection to nature. In the second room, while this room has a really lovely color palette and is put together really thoughtfully, the lack of natural light and the use of synthetic materials can make the space feel a bit less welcoming. The smaller blanket also disrupts the cohesive look as it doesn't fully cover the sheets. For an easy upgrade, opt for natural fabrics like cotton or linen for your table. These materials not only evoke an organic feel, but can also offer more comfortable sensory experience, especially for clients with sensory sensitivities. Make sure the blanket covers the sheet entirely, or use a table skirt for a polished, cohesive look. One thing to think about when sourcing or designing your space is incorporating fractals. These are naturally occurring shapes like ferns, shells, or honeycombs that our brains recognize and positively respond to. They help reduce stress, support focus, and feel comforting even if we're not consciously aware of it. Using these patterns can bring a subtle yet powerful therapeutic element to your space, and the fractals read beautifully through the camera lens. So in image 1, I really like the mid-century motifs put together in this room. However, the camera angle is too low and shows the underside of the table, including the storage, which is not ideal. The credenza is nicely styled, but the table color feels too bold compared to the neutral palette surrounding it. The ambient lighting works well here to show the overall room. In room number 2, the symmetrical layout creates a sense of calm and balance. We see fractal and repeating patterns like the X and diamond motifs that naturally soothe the brain. Take note of the table placement with the head away from the door, which supports a sense of safety. The lighting could be turned off or relocated for better photo quality here. And keep in mind, you can always clean up lighting and straighten up perspective lines in post with your photographer. So people connect with people. So showing your face in your marketing images builds trust and relatability. When potential clients see you, you are already establishing a therapeutic relationship before you've ever met. This ties into neuroaesthetics. Seeing a familiar face activates positive emotions and strengthens trust. You don't want to just be a name, you want to be a person they connect with. So this is a great example of a beautifully styled room. The massage table is left undressed, which creates a clean, uncluttered look, a viable option for your photos. Although we can see under the table, there's no visible storage, which helps maintain the tidy aesthetic. The woven mat and basket echoes the tones and textures of the large tapestry, while the open shelving and wooden poster frame add warmth and cohesion. These natural materials soften the industrial features like the exposed brick and ceiling beams, creating a grounded yet modern atmosphere. Overall, this design feels timeless, balancing old world charm with contemporary simplicity. It's welcoming, visually quiet, and evokes a sense of calm before the session even begins. Rather than just posting a photo of your room, you can elevate your marketing by incorporating graphic design tools like Canva. You can add text highlights that highlights the benefits of your treatment, special offers, or any relevant context that help potential clients understand why they should book with you. This approach turns your photos into powerful marketing assets that connect with your audience and communicate your services clearly. Another approach to your marketing images is to speak directly to your client's goals. By thinking beyond the treatment room, you can use visuals that represent outcomes like relaxation, increased mobility, pain reduction, or feeling energized. These types of images help potential clients see themselves in the results, which is the heart of your marketing message. Your lobby or reception area can also tell your brand story, especially if they feel welcoming and aligned with your values. Let's talk about lighting. Lighting is a very critical component of interior design and for setting the tone of your space. There are 3 types of lighting. We've got ambient, which is your main overhead or general lighting. Task lighting, which is focus light for specific activities. Accent lighting, which is decorative, mood enhancing, and emotionally supportive. Layering these 3 different kinds of lighting gives you flexibility for different tasks. Here are some general tips you can incorporate into your space. Choose fixtures that mimic natural light shifts to support circadian rhythm, and consider using smart lighting systems that can be programmed to align with the cycles of day and night. Incorporate dappled lights, which is a biophilic pattern and reflects how sunlight filters through trees. Use dimmers and smart bulbs that are easy to adjust intensity and tone. And if you're stuck with harsh overhead lighting, add sconces or table lamps for layered options and warm, indirect sources of lighting. These are what I call the repeat offenders. We see them ubiquitously in the treatment room, and while they are lovely, they are also relied on too often as a treatment room lighting formula. There are so many great options to make your space unique, so please think outside of the salt lamp and rice paper box. Let's talk about the acoustic experience within the treatment room. Noise pollution has real effects on our nervous system, and it's been linked to increased cortisol, disrupted sleep, and elevated heart rate. A quieter space helps your client to drop in faster and supports your own regulation as a practitioner. Soundproofing can be complex, but here are some accessible approaches. Soundproofing has 3 main components. Masking, which is adding white noise or ambient sound to cover unwanted noise. Deadening, blocking sound from entering or leaving the space. For example, wall barriers, interior window inserts for noise. For sound deadening, used for blocking noise from an adjacent room, you would need to look at products like soundproofing wall panels, mass-loaded vinyl, or double-glazed windows. These options provide more barrier-like properties to stop sound from traveling through walls or windows. The third is absorption, which helps soften sound within the room through soft finishes like rugs, drapery, and acoustic panels. Using layered goods like rugs, upholstered furniture, curtains and window treatments, and acoustic panels if needed is a really great approach. Acoustic panels are great for sound absorption, helping reduce echo and improve overall acoustics in any room. Plus, they can be a stylish design feature available in a variety of materials, colors, and textures to suit any aesthetic. They're functional and beautiful and a great way to enhance the sound quality and visual appeal of your space. Soundscaping is another approach to intentionally create a sensory experience, effectively masking unwanted noise and enhancing the environment with soothing sounds. You can achieve this through well-placed speakers on each side of the table or near the face cradle, built-in transducers in the table or face cradle. Water sounds and bird song have been shown to increase feelings of safety and relaxation. And then also playing specific sound frequencies or binaural beats can be an added value to the music that you choose. Working in small spaces is a big topic, but here are a couple tips that hopefully will be helpful. Treatment rooms are typically really small, smaller than we'd like. I'll go through a few simple solutions so you can get the most out of a small space. First, you're going to edit and simplify. Truly less is more in small treatment rooms. Lean into architectural elements rather than decor, perhaps using a focal point of artwork. Remove unnecessary furniture, opening up the floor space for better movement and ergonomics. Use furniture to scale. Oversized items make rooms feel cramped. Replace floor lamps with sconces, pendants, or table lamps. Color drenching can be really effective in small spaces, helping them feel more cohesive. Lighter colors create a sense of spaciousness, while darker colors create intimacy. Opt for one large piece of artwork rather than smaller frames or gallery walls. These make a small space feel more cluttered. This is a good thing to notice when you're looking at treatment rooms too, how the effect of a large piece of artwork versus multiple tiny frames feel. It's a weird trick, but it works. Omit administrative zones, keep treatment and check-in areas separate if possible. So this was an example that was shared actually in the Babs Facebook group. I wanted to borrow it as an example for what is proposed in this image on the left versus what the reality of that is to scale. So this is an 8x10 room, which is truly the bare minimum for a treatment room. What we see here is a proposed example. It's really not to scale and includes way too much furniture, including a desk, bookshelf, side table, client chair. I'm not seeing a desk chair or a treatment stool. So I wanted to show you what this room actually looks like to scale, including those proposed furnishings. And we can see that there's really just not enough room for all of these pieces with pinch points at each side of the foot of the table. So here's a bit more of a realistic revision for a room of this size, with the stool shown, minimal equipment, and wall hooks for the client's belongings, and a small floating shelf for supplies. Under the table storage is also an option. You can get creative with seating by lowering your electric table for the client to sit on, or using the table as a charting surface between clients. So I hope you've learned a few things today that will help you elevate your treatment room, create feelings of greater safety and comfort in your space, and help you attract your forever clients. Remember, lighting and sound are key components to a thoughtfully curated space that have demonstrated health benefits when used intentionally. Even in small spaces, you can create functional and beautiful environments. When promoting your space, use photo editing, space styling, and graphic design tools to communicate your value effectively. So some of our key takeaways from this short talk is nature is foundational, design with nature in mind, organic materials, natural patterns, and biophilic elements help clients feel more at ease and deepen their connection to your space. When you're styling for photography, show your face to build trust. VAS, or visual attention software, research backs this. And invest in professional photography and styling. Natural textures and fractal patterns hold attention longer and create more beautiful, engaging images. Lighting matters more than you think. Move beyond the tired trends like salt lamps. I know we're starting a debate here, but like salt lamps, and use layered lighting, table lamps, and sconces to create a dynamic, soothing environment that supports circadian rhythms. Smart lighting and dimmers are your best allies. Small spaces, big impact. Embrace simplicity and elegance. Edit out visual clutter, hide supplies smartly, and use vertical space creatively. Consider color drenching to make small rooms feel expansive and intentional. If you're inspired and want more information, please check out my online course where I go into greater depth on the design process, biophilic design, neuroaesthetics, and so much more. I'm sharing a code here with this community for 20% off. It's this code MMAG20, and that's going to be good through the rest of spring and summer. So if you have any questions or want to connect, please be in touch. Thanks so much.
Thank you, Jamie.